You're listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.
Foreign investors watching Korea got three separate signals today. Pause. Washington opened a new sanctions and tariff front. Samsung moved deeper into Nvidia's next computing platform. And the money rotating out of Korean chips went somewhere unexpected. It's Wednesday, August 26th. Here's why global investors are paying attention to Korea today. The Trump administration is rebuilding its tariff wall after the Supreme Court struck down reciprocal tariffs in February. At the same time, Nvidia's Rubin platform is pulling Korean suppliers deeper into the AI hardware chain. Inside Korea's own market, capital has been leaving semiconductors for consumer exporters. Here's what the numbers show. Washington is weighing an additional 7.5% tariff on Chinese goods, which would lift the total rate to 20%, alongside July's 12.5% Section 301 duty. Tariffs on Canadian autos, trucks, parts, and steel rise to 50% on January 1, 2027. The Wall Street Journal put Canada's auto and parts exports to the United States at about $50 billion a year, making that a $25 billion bill for American industry and consumers. Matter of fact, Samsung's yield on Nvidia's Grok 3 inference chip has improved 2 to 3 times since April and now sits above 80%. KeyBanc raised its Rubin GPU shipment forecast by 9%, from 1.75 million units a year to about 1.9 million. Goldman Sachs expects China's sub-7 nanometer wafer supply to grow 46% a year through 2035 against 17% demand growth, narrowing the supply gap from 92% to 34%. Kolmar Korea and Cosmax gained 57.5% and 55.1% this month, while Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix fell 2.1% and 2.5%. First-half cosmetics exports hit $7 billion, up 27.3%, and 5 Korean game publishers booked 6.06 trillion won of overseas revenue, roughly $4.4 billion, close to 60% higher than a year earlier. So what does this mean for global investors weighing Korea exposure? Earlier, we said the money leaving Korean chips went somewhere unexpected. Short pause. Here's what that actually means for you. The rotation into cosmetics and gaming is funded by export earnings rather than rate expectations, which leaves it less exposed to the tariff headlines driving the chip trade. The near-term tariff damage sits on the North American auto chain, while for Korean memory, the Samsung and Nvidia ramp and Goldman's China supply forecast pull in opposite directions on different timelines. Watch next month's summit between Washington and Beijing for whether the overcapacity tariff is confirmed. Watch Rubin shipment revisions against Samsung's HBM supply, guided 20% higher this year. Watch whether foreign buying follows the cosmetics rally or stays in semiconductors. That's today's AI Prism, Global Investors. This episode was produced with AI assistance based on Seoul Economic Daily reporting and reviewed by a human editor. AI Prism is a Juan Ifra award-winning series. We'll be back tomorrow.
You've been listening to AI Prism from Seoul Economic Daily.